9 News at 9 starts right now.
We begin tonight with breaking news after a shooting involving Aurora police. We know an officer shot someone following a family disturbance at a home on East Arkansas Drive. We have a crew on scene. They'll bring us the latest in just a few minutes. But first, demonstrations in Denver have taken a turn. What started out as peaceful protests against the Trump administration is ending tonight with a face-off against police officers. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Evan Krugel. We saw dozens of peaceful No Kings protests all day long until one took a turn just 2 hours ago. Take a listen. It all started when protesters tried to move on to West Colfax near the I-25 interchange. They were met by Denver police officers staged at Osage. DPD says protesters attempted to push through and gain access to the highway. Police then responded with non-lethal tactics, including smoke and pepper balls. Denver police say protesters threw rocks and bottles at officers. DPD says they've arrested 5 people so far in this incident. Police also arrested one man earlier in the day for attempting to block off Spear near Ball Arena. Our Ria Jha is joining us live from that area. Ria, you were right there as all of this unfolded.
Yeah, Evan, earlier near Aurora campus, it was a really scary situation. We were on the front lines with everyone. I had this mask, and even with it, we were coughing. I was getting hit by pellets. So police were lined up in tactical gear. They formed up a line along 7th and Colfax Avenue, and all of a sudden started firing off pepper balls and smoke, shooting pellets. Many people were coughing, people were running away. Multiple people were handcuffed and detained from what we saw. Police moved that line for 3 blocks all the way down to Spear, firing off pepper bombs along the way. Smoke. Police said they had to do that because protesters were trying to get onto I-25. Those protesters were armed with gas masks, yelling things at police. And when I was here earlier today, it could not have been a more different situation. It was peaceful. People were laying out on the lawns. When we got to Aurora campus, it completely turned. So now protesters are kind of doing laps around the city. They're definitely still here. Some people are still at the Capitol, but we will kind of monitor this situation as it develops. Reporting live at the Capitol, Ria Jha, 9 News.
Yeah, we'll continue to stay on top of this. Ria, thank you so much for that reporting. We do want to stress the protests for most of the day were entirely peaceful throughout Denver and beyond. Hundreds of people gathered in downtown Denver under the sweltering heat. The No Kings protest is part of a nationwide response to what they are calling authoritarian actions of the Trump administration. People we spoke with showed up for the solidarity, to stand up for migrants in the country, and to express general disapproval over how President Trump is running the country.
It's impossible to remain silent. Silence means you agree with what's going on.
My nonprofit works with migrants and unhoused women, and I just had communication with one of the families we're working with, and they are frightened. They don't want to go out.
Similar protests were also seen in smaller communities. We swung by towns like Parker. Police originally told the organizers in Parker not to protest because officers would be too busy with the Parker Days Festival on Main Street. The No Kings organizers decided to move forward with the protest anyway and avoided the festival on Main Street. We also saw large crowds rally in Arvada, all with a similar message. The Colorado protests joined the whole nationwide movement. Protests were held in virtually every major U.S. city. The rallies were organized more than 2,000 locations in all 50 states. From Los Angeles to Seattle, protesters crowded the streets. The recent ICE raids and immigration policies fueling these protests. Just as National Guard troops and the Marines are in Los Angeles, the president attended a military parade celebrating the 250th anniversary of the Army. The parade also falls on President Trump's 79th birthday. Now to some breaking news out of Aurora. Aurora police say one of their officers shot a man during a family disturbance call on East Arkansas Drive. This all happened around 6 o'clock. 9 News reporter Colton Chavez is at the scene now with the latest. Colton, what have you learned out there tonight?
Well, Evan, in the 3.5, almost 4 hours since police got that first call, this is what Arkansas Drive still looks like. Police vehicles all up and down this road. And if you look over my shoulder, you can actually see a command center that they set up as well. A lot of focus on that corner home that you can see behind me. Now, when I spoke with Aurora police, they tell me this whole thing started because somebody inside the home, a third person, called because they said the couple inside the home continue to fight. Now, as Evan just said, that call came in around 5:45 this afternoon. Now, when police arrived, the officers spoke with a 58-year-old man inside of the garage, and they separated him from the woman that his wife, actually, is what Aurora police tell us. Now, during that conversation, Aurora police say that's when, at one point during that conversation, the man grabbed a gun from inside somewhere in that garage. Now, police continued to make comments to him, telling him to drop the weapon, but he ignored them.
After numerous orders and commands for the male to put the gun down, to drop the gun, and had every opportunity to do so, the male did not comply and turned the gun in a manner that was threatening to the officer, and the officer, in fear for his life, fired an unknown number of shots to protect himself and to protect others around him.
Aurora police tell us that none of their officers involved with this incident were hurt. As for the man who was shot by police, he was taken to a nearby hospital with life-threatening injuries. That was the latest update we could get from Aurora police when we spoke to them within the past hour. Live in Aurora tonight, Colton Chavez, 9 News.
Colton, thank you. To some more breaking news tonight, crews are battling a wildfire just west of Boulder. Boulder Fire Rescue says it's happening northwest of Boulder Canyon, where they say crews are working quickly to get water on the fire. This video from Sky 9 shows it burning on a rocky hillside. No word at this point how big this fire is or if any homes or structures are in danger. Corey Reppenhagen joins us now. Corey, it's been hot and dry out there. Not great news for firefighters.
Nope, the fuels are drying out very fast under these hot, dry conditions. Fortunately, no fire weather conditions today. With the wind, we will have fire weather tomorrow. So we're getting into that part of the season where we really need to pay attention to these things. Fortunately for today, the wind was very, it worked in the firefighters' favors, let's say that. So, but a difficult terrain there. Here's the city of Denver right now. What a nice evening we had after we hit our first 90-degree day of the year. Typically we hit about 45 or 46 of those each year. We had 64 yesterday, so buckle up. We have really comfortable conditions right now, though, across the Front Range. 81 degrees here in downtown Denver. The severe thunderstorm watch has been lifted as the ingredients for severe weather are starting to fizzle. We've got some heavy rain running across Interstate 76 right now, but we're starting to lose the ability for these storms to grow strong. So most likely just rain and thunder and lightning through the night. This is your forecast in Denver tomorrow. Lots of sunshine early, just like we saw today. Temperatures getting up there again to about 93 degrees with some afternoon clouds, but will likely stay dry in Denver. More on that coming up in the forecast, Evan.
All right, thanks, Corey. A manhunt is underway for a man suspected of killing a Minnesota state lawmaker and her spouse, as well as injuring another lawmaker and his wife. Officials say Democratic State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark were killed. Democratic State Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette were shot several times and are recovering. They are expected to survive. The shootings took place at their homes. Law enforcement has since identified the suspect as 57-year-old Vance Bolter. They say he posed as a police officer. They say they found writings inside a fake police car recovered at one of the scenes of those shootings. In it, it mentioned the names of several lawmakers and other officials. Investigators say they also found no Kings flyers in the suspect's car.
The question was, is the manifesto and the information that we have received as their motivations? We are working diligently on that. There's certainly some indications within that, but there's not specifics enough.
As police search for the shooter, they're urging people in the area to stay indoors. Several Colorado lawmakers are reacting to the shootings. Democratic Governor Jared Polis posted on X saying Colorado stands with Minnesota, sending his sympathies to those impacted. He also said divisive politics must be rejected. Democratic Senator Michael Bennet said he is devastated by the assassination of Representative Hortman. He went on to say there is no place for political violence in a democracy. And Democratic State Representative Joe Neguse also chimed in, calling today a dark day for our country.